take this time to thank you who have been praying for Alan, my husband, during his heart attack and stroke, and for me during this time. To just really thank you for your support and your prayers, and to give a testimony as to what God has done for us during this time. Put it in terms of what God gives us as a benefit of believing the gospel. So one of the most precious things was to hear Alan when he thought he may be dying to say that he would be surprised if he died because he thinks his purpose in China is not fulfilled yet, but that he knows whatever God does is right. And so just hearing that purpose in life and that peace in dying gave me so much peace and comfort myself. And the second thing is that I felt the presence of God and courage, like through the whole time, difficult time in the hospital, except for maybe about 10 minutes one time. And then I remember God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And I felt so I felt so focused on God and not my own troubles that that the doctor came to us at the end when we were about ready to be discharged after 3 weeks. She said, "We have learned a lot from you, from watching you guys." And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" She said, when the Chinese people get sick, they are pretty hopeless and sad. And she said, it wasn't like that with you and your family. And she said, we noticed that you smiled the whole time, that you were able to smile, and you had hope. And that actually led to another opportunity since then to visit that same hospital and bring Christmas cards and Christmas gifts to the sick children in the hospital. So so thank you for praying, those of you who prayed for the hospital, that God's light would come into the hospital. And then, of course, the power of healing. That we had an American doctor who was allowed to come in and look at the charts of Alan's, and she said that the numbers of the enzyme that he was emitting when he was on the night of his heart attack were so bad, but a week later they were so good, and she said that it was a miracle. And then the next thing was, I want to tell you what was happening when Alan was waking up. So they put him to sleep for 3 or 4 days after his heart attack, so that his heart would not be exerted too much. And when he was waking up, all the doctors and nurses in CCU were standing around him to make sure that he didn't try to pull his IVs out and all of the cords he was hooked up to. And I was standing there at that time, and I was singing to him. I was singing hymns and psalms, and it just seemed to have a calming effect on him. And as he was coming to, I thought, that Jesus had his heart struck by a spear, and he had no father that would come and heal him, and no doctors and nurses to come and heal his heart. And he took the hit for us, and by his stripes we are healed, Isaiah said. And that was so precious to me at that time. I felt like the secret of the Lord is with those who fear him, and I just felt that God just gave me that special message and that special comfort during that time. And also the provision of God. So foolishly, we did not have insurance when this happened, but we found that the final cost of being in the hospital here, what some say was the best cardio hospital in China. The end price was maybe less than what we would have paid with insurance in America. It was amazing. And after that, we went to an American rehab clinic to see if we could get some visual restoration therapy. And the professionals met with us for 3 hours, occupational therapists, cardiologists, and at the end, they said we didn't have to pay. And someone paid for a great deal of our medicine for us, wouldn't let them pay them back, and we've just seen just one thing after another of God providing for us during that time. And then the last thing I wanted to say is that is that the Bible says that storms reveal whether you're on a true foundation. And I was so glad to find that when the storms came unexpectedly, suddenly, that the foundation of Jesus Christ that we believed in held firm, and that we found that what we had believed and said we had believed was real, is true, and is real. And that was just another great blessing. So again, just want to thank you guys for your prayers, and thank you for all of your love for us, and thank you for everything that you've done for us. And that's it.